Another thing I found cool. There was one more thing, and it was this. So I found this way late, but this is a graph of mentions in the top 1000. I don't know, or top however many. Yeah, it is top 1000. So essentially anyone mentioned in someone's about me area maps a link between the two, and someone took every about me section and mapped them all together. And this was the result. It's really interesting. This is super cool. You can see all of the players on the outskirts. Like here's a big blob for Emrek, a big blob for Rafis, White Cat, BTMC Tuna, Plasma, all of the top players who don't mention many people on their user pages are all on the outskirts. Like Wolf, Woey, Mathy, there's all these mentions. What I found really interesting about this is that I'm so central, and there's also two other graphs. There's one for players with no mentions and doesn't mention anyone else, and there's one for players who have mentions between each other and to no one else and by no one else, which I found really interesting because that's a tiny subset of players that aren't mentioned, and this is also a tiny subset of players that aren't mentioned. Just shows you how strong of a community there is. Even when you don't think the community is so tight knit like this is how strong of a community that Osu has, and I think that's incredible. But Gargantuan, if it wasn't just top 2,500, yeah, I agree. One other cool thing you can do here, though, as well, like, Jesper's quite central. Aleph as well. Who are some of these people in the middle? Psychology. Yeah, okay. Vil, Flaste, Zone Louise. Yeah, okay. Fedora Goose. But one cool thing you can do with this is click a player and you see all of the links. So you see all of the mentions. I mentioned 56 people because of how many, like, tournaments, both tournaments I've played, because I keep my tournament history on my About Me instead of in a separate spreadsheet, but also the people I've met. So all of these guys, I've met them, or I've played a tournament against them, and won or lost it. And then all of these guys down here are people I mentioned by. So, to be fair, I know most of these people. Toy, I know, also keeps his tournament history on his About Me. But it's super cool. And it's like mentioned by or was in a collab with, I guess. It also counts. It's super interesting. But you can also, like, you can zoom out and see all of the nodes that are connected in. So, like, I mentioned BTMC, I mentioned Emrek, I mentioned Cookie Z. Do I not mention Malteser once? Yeah, good. Good riddance. Eric, Xylus, who's this? Reedcat, yep. Kingling, Skier, sleep with one eye open at COE. Yeah, of course I will be. I'll be sleeping closest to the door so I can push you out of it and lock you out at any point. Where's our man Doomsday? Not top 2.5k, unfortunately. He has to farm for that to happen, which he has been, sure. He's doing stuff. It's not doomed, but look at that. He's been getting stuff. It ain't over. It ain't over. He's been getting both stable plays and laser plays, so it ain't over, okay? He's had two 500s in the last month. I didn't even realize he changed his banner to the Epic Meetup profile, or Epic Meetup group picture, but it's super cool. Who doesn't love Doomsday? Exactly. If you see him streaming, drop in. Give him some encouragement, because it's nice to see him take an interest in skill pushing again. For the longest time, he's just been enjoying playing the game, not really taking it too seriously. Again, I don't know what's motivated him, but he's just taken an interest in it again. It's super cool. Anyway,